Okay, Stacy.
What is going on?
Thanks for coming in today.
Absolutely.
It's been interesting getting to know you on social media, and it's nice to say that you're the same person in person. Just wanted to kind of take some time to talk story and get a little bit of more background that may not actually show up in the content that you produce, and it's pretty consistent, which is pretty awesome.
Yep.
So yeah, just want to hear a little bit more about your story and who you are as a person. Is more outside of the camera, but in front of another one, I guess. In front of my camera, not yours.
Yeah, for sure. So a little bit about myself. Born and raised here in Hawaii. People never think that because of the way that I sound, but I lived
proper English.
Yeah, I lived in the mainland for 7 years. After high school, I went to college in California and did this. I'm going to go do mechanical engineering because I'm good at math and science, but I easily figured out that wasn't something that I wanted to do. And during that process, I was a part of a bunch of different extracurricular activities, you could call them, and one of them was a senior design project. So we had to create something for the senior design. Now, I decided that I'm going to try to start figuring this out my sophomore year. So I'm joining all these different engineering projects. I'm like, these all suck. I'm going to make my own instead. So the next year, I created the solar race car team.
Oh.
Literally, like, this one passenger vehicle that you sit in, completely powered by the sun, designed to go across America 2,000 miles.
Like that movie of the Kona team?
I don't know.
Oh, there's a movie where Kona, the team in Kona actually did that, and they made it.
I mean, probably something similar.
Yeah.
So I hired 50 undergraduate engineers to design and build this thing. We didn't get to actually competing because I was a senior the next year, but I handed that over to the next generation, and hopefully they finished the project. But I realized that I love being in charge of the project.
Yeah.
And through that avenue, one of the guys that was my mechanical lead brought me to an internship as a construction manager intern. So I was working for a general contractor, and like these are big projects. The first one I worked on was a ground up $133 million dorm tower on campus. And the second one was $1.2 billion LAX Delta terminals. So these are like huge projects, and I was able to learn how to build, but the problem was that I was working 80 hours a week, and as a woman, I want to have a family one day, and realize that that's not the way to go. Yeah. I looked at all of my bosses. They were all miserable, bald, yet they had this like Ferrari, but they were clearly so upset. And
compensating for something.
Yeah, compensating. And so I started flipping houses on the side. And that was a whole journey in itself, because how do you flip houses on the side? It's not a side hustle. And I was already working 80 hours a week. And I wish this on nobody, not even my worst enemy, to sleep like 3 to 4 hours a night and just grind it out. But it was a sacrifice that I made up front and at least got me to where I am today.
Do you think that helped create value and appreciation in the process for you?
Yeah, 100%. Those were just some days that you have to grind, and a lot of newbies will come to me and say, like, I want to get into this real estate investing thing. And I even told you, I said, do you really want it? Because most people will watch it on YouTube and think like, oh, all these big checks here, check out my big check that I made. Yeah, but what did it take to get there was not having any friends. Like, my friends would literally hound on me all the time. Like, why don't you hang out with us? Oh, I'm trying to build this lifestyle. And in construction, everybody straight out of college, you're making over $100,000. What are you buying? New trucks, new cars, and going to the bar every single night, really? And it's just like, dude, if I try to be like them, I'm going to mess myself up for forever. Yeah. And it was just sacrifices that we had to make up front.
Did you always have that mindset?
I've always been kind of a wacko weirdo who just wanted to make money. Like, for example, in high school, I would go to this river behind the mini golf at Pearl Ridge,
Jungle.
Yeah, jungle. There was a little river back there,
Yeah.
and my dad had these huge fishes in his fish pond that would eat all these small little guppies.
Yeah.
So I saw him go collect them as well. I was like, I'm gonna collect these. I'm gonna sell them on Craigslist to other people who may have a fish pond like my dad.
Yeah.
And bruh, I was selling like 20 of them for $20, just like in
What?
high school. So I was always a wacko weirdo, for lack of a better term.
Okay, so in high school, what year did you graduate?
2014.
Okay. Was social media your avenue for
No,
selling
no.
at that? How did you get that out there advertised?
Craigslist. I
There
literally
you
listed
go.
it on Craigslist and just free fish that I found in the river.
So that was just sweat equity. You go get this, and then you were able to make it happen.
Yeah, I just made it happen. I had a car. I started driving right when I was 16, so I could just deliver it straight to their fish pond.
Oh man, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So back to your investing now. How long did it take for you to kind of actually get some traction and where you knew that you were gonna make this a full-time thing?
Okay, so I did this in 2019. That was when I bought that first house. I ended up losing $30,000 on that first deal. That was all of my own money that I had saved up. But I knew going in that this was the masters of real estate that I needed in order to keep on going. And whatever I learned, let's just take it and get
There's
back
a
up.
lesson there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I lost that money. Ended up getting a mentor for my second deal. Made some money on that one, but I made $5K. Like, it was nothing.
You're still paying for the
But
education.
I won.
Yeah.
I won because I made a 20% return, which is better than even what I get today. But the price point was very small.
Right.
And through that process, that second flip that I was doing, my mom actually got sick. She got diagnosed with cancer, and she's good now.
Good.
But I had to move home, and the company that I work for transferred me home to Hawaii. So here I am, living in Waianae, right on the beach. I finally, for once in my life, I decided to treat myself to this little 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo on Pokai Bay Street.
Oh, nice.
And I was living there. My job was right across the street, and I'm still working 80 hours a week. And I'm like, dude, what am I doing? Because
You're by the beach and you can't even appreciate it.
yeah, I can't even appreciate. And I came home to come take care of my mom. I have no time to help around the house, and they lived in Kunia, and so there was one day I literally broke down at work. I had no idea why. I'm not one to cry. I had to walk downstairs to my car. I look at myself in the reflection. I'm like, wake the hell up. What are you doing? Get your crap together and go inside and tell your boss that you need to take the day.
Yeah.
So I go back inside, and she's like, you haven't taken a break in over a year. Go take a 2-week vacation.
Good.
Your mom is sick. Go take care of your stuff. You just moved home. I said, okay. So the first week, I'm chilling at the beach, praying, meditating, and just trying to figure out what am I doing here? What am I supposed to go back to this job? And I was super pissed about coming home too, because my business was finally starting to gain some traction in California.
Oh.
And I was like, why do I have to go home? It's impossible to do this here. I need to build there so that I can take the knowledge and the financial education, bring it home, and help the people here. But I don't have enough knowledge yet. Experience, really.
Yeah.
And so when I came home that first week, I was like, okay, let's just try to figure it out. The second week, I had this prayer. I was like, God, if you want me to quit my job, I am going to call every single lead that I have in my system. Show me something. I call every lead I had. I made $1,500 on a wholesale on the Friday.
How many leads would you say that was?
It wasn't a lot. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you. Maybe 100. It was barely anything, and that's very little to get a deal, right? But I've been following up with those leads for a while.
Okay.
But I ended up wholesaling a deal, and that was everything I needed to know to quit the job.
Yeah.
The Monday I came back from vacation, and I quit my job. I cut all ties and was just all right, this is where I'm supposed to go, and I got to figure this out. Now I have this one time I decided to splurge on myself. Now I got this rental that I need to pay for, and I just quit my job. Like, what am I doing? But, man, it's been a journey.
Sometimes it takes that just let's do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
You can't always plan everything.
No,
and,
no.
And you know what they say, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm in control all the time anyway.
Yeah.
I like the spontaneity of it. Yeah. Well, I'm super stoked that you're here.
Yeah.
I mean, you were one of the first people, you and Kolaya and Dustin were the faces that I saw on social media. And for a long time, I've wanted to invest and get into it. And I'm trying to ask myself, too, like, do I really want it? How can I know? Because I haven't done it. Let's go try and do it. And yet I've, at one point during COVID, loans were just, everybody was buying up. And I got busier than I ever imagined. So that kind of got put on the side. But now that I've been able to make connections and talk to people such as yourself, it's so refreshing that everybody wants to give back and they're willing to collaborate. They're very welcoming, and it's not traditional in the real estate realm as far as like professionally.
In the realtor realm,
Yeah.
I feel like everybody's out to eat each other, but in the investor, everyone wants to collaborate.
What do you think the difference is?
You can't do everything by yourself in investing. I don't know if you could do everything by yourself as a realtor. Maybe. I don't know.
Think so either. The current realtor model is teams. They're building teams so that they can kind of rely on each other, and I feel like there's a lot of takeaways that we can learn from that too in the investor.
100%.
But we already have the heart. The heart is kind of what we base everything off of, as far as who you surround yourself with in this community. So that's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you listening to what I'm trying to achieve with partnering with everybody and telling everyone's story. And the big thing is, I would like everybody to know that there is somebody that's just like you in a similar situation previously, and they've been able to successfully do it.
Yeah.
So it's, you definitely speak to the women in the world that want to make this an opportunity or take the opportunity to make a living at this, or even just to get ahead. And I feel like the big thing or the big reason why this is becoming so popular, aside from social media, because I know a lot of people that put content out there that don't get attention.
Yeah.
But it gives everybody hope that, hey, you know what, I can get out of my 9 to 5 because Stacy did it.
Yeah. Would not recommend the way that I did, though.
Right. I mean, and there's other ways. Everybody's got their own situation.
Yeah.
You're coming from different places, but I think the fact that not everybody came from maybe a struggle, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible. But there are everyone's struggle is different, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
like, your struggle is like trying to get out of ahead or move forward, how to get better or what have you. And I think that's wherever your starting point is, just the fact that you can do more through some of these investment opportunities.
I always think about like my parents. They came from the Philippines with nothing. And if they were able to start from nothing and build to where they are today as like middle class, like we didn't start off middle class, we were below that. And if they did that, then I can stand there and go even further.
Yeah.
And it's just going to keep climbing this ladder. And you kind of mentioned also just wanting to know me more on just whatever the content is. And something that has been on my heart lately is I want to start sharing more of lifestyle stuff. So real estate content's great, but what can that give you? I don't want you to just see the checks. I want you to see, like, I'm able to go hang out with my family when I want to because I invest in real estate. So I'm definitely in a shift right now, going more towards, like, lifestyle content.
I'm glad you said that. In my industry, where there's no base salary. I'm a W-2 employee, but if I don't make any business transactions, if I don't make things happen, I don't get paid either. So there's definitely a psychology behind that, getting used to the freedom of it, but then there's also the worry of if I don't work, I don't get paid type of thing.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people don't know how to balance the work life. And I'm sure you're probably like me. You go home and you're answering text messages, you're answering emails at home. Like, it's not like you leave it at work. It's with you 24/7.
It is, but I'm pretty good at turning it off in
Good.
a physical sense.
Yeah.
Is it going on in my brain? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Am I acting on it? No. Like Kalaya called me last night at like 6 o'clock. I said, sorry, I can't talk for the rest of the night. Let's chat tomorrow about a deal. And that's why when he came in, we talked. But when I got married, because I lived that lifestyle where I didn't have friends, and I had friends, but I just didn't
You
hang out
chose
with them.
not to. You prioritized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I got married, I said, here's a standard I want to hold myself to. After 6 o'clock, if I have to work, if I need to take a call, I need to ask you permission. And that wasn't something he implemented on me. I said, I need you to hold me accountable to that.
Nice.
So I would say that I'm okay at it. Am I perfect? No. But that's definitely something I place as a priority.
Good
Even
for you.
on the weekends, like I must have a day of 24 hours of just
Unplugged.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned starting a family.
Yeah, that's not something that's gonna happen anytime soon, though.
You're still working hard. That's why.
Yeah, we gotta build some stuff. My husband just left the army, so we're building some stuff together, and that's probably gonna be minimum 4 years, somewhere between 4 and 10 years. I'm pretty young still, so
Yeah.
I got some time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's like a
that.
hard no for me.
Yeah. That's good. I'm glad you're planning ahead and you're thinking
Yeah.
about it. It's not something that a lot of people do. Seems like you probably got some of that from your parents, work ethic and then family dynamic.
Yeah. I think just being so one thing I really appreciate about my parents is if you're not hungry, you are sitting at the dinner table eating nothing, and you're gonna talk with us. Like we have family dinner every single night at 6 p.m. no
Good.
matter what, and yeah, that's something that I definitely want to keep in my family as well.
I like that tradition.
Yeah.
I'm actually hoping to do that with our community as well. I'd like to, a lot of it, we focus on the social media, we focus on that business opportunities, but for me personally, I like to work with people that I can be friends with and that I can share in and outside of work, because we're going to spend a lot of time talking.
Yeah.
So I like that balance, and hopefully we can kind of sit down and break bread and meet each other's families soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do you think has attributed to your success that maybe you haven't really highlighted on social media? Or where else would you like to go from here?
For me, for sure, is definitely faith. People don't see me as the traditional fit in a box, go to church kind of gal. I mean, like literally people in the church that I go to have seen me on social media, and then they see me in church and they're like, I didn't even know that you like believed in God and stuff. But if I had to give an analogy for what investing in real estate is, it's like being a white belt and fighting BJ Penn every single day. And you're just literally
Wow.
like getting punched in the face every single day, and you gotta have some kind of foundation to stand on, or things get tricky. And let's say like you're in a bad situation with money, and are you gonna figure out how to get that ethically, or are you gonna go screw somebody over? Things like that, right? It's just like having that foundation for me has been the key to surviving this fight.
I had no idea that's where you're going with that question, but I'm glad I asked it, because it's actually something that's been very prevalent in my actions of how I got here to talk to you and Kolaya and all the other guys. And honestly, it's a really small circle. There's so many people I follow, and it's obvious that, following them and then who you tag or who's in your network that's interacting with your posts and whatnot, that they're in that circle. But knowing really who's genuine and who's authentic and has everyone's best interest at heart, and that's hard to navigate nowadays, because I mean, you can think you know somebody, but you don't necessarily. So my thing is, as long as you keep your word and you do something, and it's ethic and it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
Like I personally think, and this is just me, I've been in the real estate industry for a while, I think that we have a lot more responsibility than people realize, because we are the gatekeepers of the homes and the condition of the homes, how much they're getting sold for. And
To an extent,
Yeah.
of how much it's getting sold for.
yeah,
It's kind of
no,
determined
yeah,
by the market. Yeah.
right. It is right. The value is determined by the market. So, how my thing is, how else can we help to give back to the community? So it's, I think the word that's used commonly is affordable. And so I would,
Relative
right.
verb, noun,
So,
whatever. Adjective.
But what's the standard of affordable, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'd rather change that dynamic and let's say, how about you can make your money here, but if you really want to give back to the community, and that's what you're saying online, not saying you, I just hear it.
Yeah.
I would just like people to figure a way to give back in turn of maybe affordability. So I'm sure there's affordable projects that may be a little bit different, but a fix and flip, it's you only have so much
You
room
only
in
have
order,
so much room.
and you got to put food on the table,
Yeah.
or else you can't give back as well, right? So
But if you get a good deal, you can still give back. So, like, my first condo in Hawaii, when I was selling it, I listed it for, or I got offers at, I think, 265, 270, and 275. This was a little condo in Aiea, and I saw that, and this is not a knock because my husband was in the military too, right? But 270 and 275 was a VA loan.
Okay.
Clearly somebody in the military. 265 was clearly a young girl co-signing with her parents who was just trying to get out of her mom and dad's house.
yeah,
We ended up selling to her. So it's little things like that
there you go, good.
that you can do. When I bought my house in Waianae that I told you our friend listed, I made the promise to the seller. Crazy story, okay? So some guy in North Carolina reached out to, we were talking, and he's like, I have a deal in Waianae. Want to check it out? I'm like, yeah, sure. What you got? He's like, this guy's asking for $550. I'm like, bro, that's
Did I
like,
hear that right?
yeah, $550.
Okay.
Oh wait, $550,000.
I was like, wow, that's a wholesale deal.
No,
right there.
no. $550,000 in Maili, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, barely needs any work. And I'm like, okay, looking at this before I go on this appointment, I'm probably gonna need it at $350. Not sure it makes sense for me to go on this appointment. But you know what? We've been chatting for a while. I want to show you I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on this appointment to just test the waters and see. I go on this appointment, and this straight-up uncle comes out, no shirt, eating in his mouth. I'm like, oh, it's game on. This is
You got him.
perfect.
Oh.
This is perfect. And I'm like, what's up, uncle? How you doing? And we connected so well because I was telling him about my mission to keep local land in local hands. And he said, if you, we really connected on that. I mean, so much to the point, he's on like the Hawaiian Homelands board or something, and he started showing me to these lands that they have that they're trying to develop on. I take him in my car, we go on this little field trip. I come back, and I'm like, all right, uncle, like that was cool and all.
Yeah.
That's a long-term vision. What do you want to do with this house? If you want to sell it to me, I there's no way I can pay $550, but I can pay $350. And he looks at me for like a minute, and he's just like, you know what? For you, let's do it. And I bought it for $350.
Really?
Yep. So that was like my biggest deal I did, but like I said, I made a promise to him that I would sell it to somebody local, and I probably could have sold it for like $620. I got a couple offers at that. We ended up selling for $579,
That's awesome.
and I still made good money on it. So it was just a win-win for everybody all around.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
So, I wondered how that happens, but that's I like that story. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would say that probably the reason why he was okay doing that is that's $200,000, right?
Yeah.
Difference of what he was initially asking.
He was asking that guy because he said he was on the mainland.
Yeah. Well, okay, so there's something to be said too. Like, you're here. That's why the local, and it's not, to me, local is like you live here. I think UH would be like 12 months, then you get your residency, right? But if you live here, you're contributing to your community. That's all I need to
Yeah.
love on them
Yeah.
as well. So, and and it's just a matter of just trying to make sure that our family and friends and their relatives have a place to live as well.
Yeah. We're all just trying to get ahead, but there's no point in getting ahead if you can't bring your family and friends with you.
Exactly. And I feel like that's the biggest reason why real estate investing is very popular and is gaining so much traction. And my mission really is now just to bring awareness, share everything that people such as yourself are doing, and just try to get it out there as much as possible. Help you spread the word, help everybody else, so that's more people that can get exposed. It's not going to be an upfront adoption. It's going to be a slow process, right? So for me, this is hopefully something that we can incite a movement of, and it'll keep going long after we're gone.
Yeah, and that's why I also like selling my deals to Fuzzy, because he has that same mission, and that's how we really connected on so many levels. Like, he is the first person I hit up anytime I get.
And there's your affordability, because you're passing on that savings and you're prioritizing him because he has those morals and that ethics too.
Yep. The first lot I sold to him, he's building like some kind of women's shelter or something. I can't remember exactly, but
Is that the one in Waianae?
No, it's in Hilo. Oh. It's in Hilo or Ke'au.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So that's definitely my mission here as well, and to just teach other people that it's possible. I mean, we look at me and even Kalaya, we're both super young, and we're just normal people. Like, I don't have any kind of crazy business background. I just figured it out and was willing to get punched by a BJ Penn every day.
So that's, we were talking about taking action, right? So that's the thing you'd say, you're willing to take action, whereas have you seen people that maybe seem like they're really interested, but what happens to them?
They just never pick up the phone. Like, they call me, dude, oh my gosh, it's so cool. Like, I'm so excited. Like, I promise I'm going to do it. I'm like, okay, why do you want to do it? Oh, because it's good money.
Oh, yep. Okay, there you go. The reason.
Yeah. I'm like, but I've tried to bring people on and like, hey, I'll let you work for me for free.
We talked about that too.
Yeah, and it's just like, when I quit my job, I went to go work for another investor for 6 months. I paid her $15K to be a part of her business and took no profit. Like, pretty much no profit on all the deals. I found deals. I set up her entire cold calling system because she had no systems and processes, and my engineering background knew how to set that up for her. So I set it up. Because I set that up for free, she was like, all right, yeah, like, come.
You showed value.
Yeah, you showed value. And she's like, come work with me. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And found private money lenders, literally moved to Big Bear in the projects that we were working on, and lived in an active construction site to just, like, show as much value as I could so I could learn everything. And I took all of that and brought it to Hawaii. And that's how I've been able to gain traction faster than most, was because I literally was in the pits making no money. That's
part of that sacrifice, that hustle and the grind beginning that nobody really realizes is part of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing, and I hope to continue to do that, because our story's not over. There's a lot more positive work that we get to do here with the community, and hopefully inspire some kids and some of the parents and some adults and some of our family to take a little bit more action and investigate a little bit more, because there's so many opportunities out there, but I think the difference is making it known that they're available is the big thing. So thank God for social media.
But also hate it at the same time.
Yeah, it's but it's a tool, right? It's how you use it. So okay, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Let's bring in Kalaya.
Choo.